We heard about the news when we were on one of our conservation properties in the Brigalow Belt in inland Queensland, and we have a beautiful area where we protect everything from Woma pythons to yakka skinks. So we're out in the middle of the bush and someone said, you've got to tune in and get filmed watching something. So we managed to get everything all together and we didn't know what was going on. The announcement happened and we were just sitting on the back of the ute overjoyed. It was really incredible.
I guess every celebration of Steve must be still, after all these years, bittersweet for you.
Absolutely, and none of us are immune to grief, and everyone who has suffered loss understands that grief changes, but you never wake up one morning and you've moved on. It stays with you, and you know, you ebb and flow. Some days are better than others, but this kind of acknowledgement is so special. More than 11 years after we lost Steve, to be able to acknowledge everything that he worked so hard for in making sure that the world at large understood the importance of conservation, and not just folks like ourselves who love wildlife and wild places. So it is very moving.
In the intervening years, has your dedication to conservation, have you ever had those wavering moments because it's you now and the kids and without Steve?
You know, I don't think I've ever questioned whether or not my purpose was to continue Steve's work with conservation, but certainly it can be very challenging. And I know right after we lost Steve, it was a little bit terrifying. I think as someone who always considered myself a fairly independent person, I really wasn't prepared for that sense of fear of, can I really take all of this forward? I was worried about my kids, our beautiful zoological facility, and the work that Steve had started. And in looking back, I realized that while my determination really never wavered, it took some time to sort of reconvene believing in myself again and believing that this is something that we could achieve together.
Well, Terri Irwin, we're having a national conversation again about sharks and shark attacks and what sort of prevention should be put in place to protect swimmers. Where do you stand philosophically on this? Are drum lines and nets the right way to go? Where do you stand on how we protect people in the ocean?
Well, there are different problems and challenges with different apex predators. But basically, in this day and age, it's harder to find an apex predator than it is to avoid one. Human life is always the most valuable. But the people I know who love the ocean really understand the risks. And I don't know a single surfer who would say, gee, I wish there were no sharks in the ocean.
Terri Irwin, again, congratulations to you and your family. Thanks for joining us tonight.
Thank you.